Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1470, written by Human Cell 3158. We stumbled into a town that doesn't exist. This happened in 2016. I have an ex-boyfriend, and while we were together, we liked to just listen to music and drive around, discovering new places. We turned into this neighborhood one evening. It was early summer, late spring, around 5 or 6, still a bit of light outside and fairly warm. On these excursions, I'd usually be using my GPS on my phone. Once we turned into this neighborhood, things got very strange and unusual. What we first noticed is that there is no one outside, no one bringing in groceries from the car or coming home from work. No cars on the road driving, even on all the streets we looked and drove down. No children out playing or riding bikes. We mentioned this to each other and we began to look a bit harder. Next, we noticed there's nobody in any of the homes, no lights on in any of the houses, as many of them had big front room windows you could look into. But they were all furnished and had cars in the driveway like people did live there. We began to get very weirded out. I'm trying to route us out of that neighborhood, but my GPS is completely not working. It's showing us driving down roads we weren't even on, turns where there weren't supposed to be any, etc. It's like we were going in circles, even though we kept trying to go down different streets to find the main road. Nope, nothing but eerie, empty houses. I think now that we were stuck in some sort of strange loop. It was reminiscent of a fake neighborhood used to test nuclear missiles on. But this was in the middle of Fairfax, Virginia, where there surely would be no nuclear missile test neighborhoods, right? We both start to panic at this point. Like, where the hell are we, and why isn't the GPS working? I've always been very good with computers and phones, am majoring in IT now, and was no stranger to my Google Maps app. We finally found this one road that looked like it led out of the neighborhood. We took it, as it was different from the others. What we discovered next shook us to our bones. It was a dirt road, unlike the others. After driving down it for a moment, we realized it led into a heavily wooded area. It was nightfall at this point, and we had been trying to find our way out for at least 20 to 25 minutes. We have no music on, as I had it paused so I could concentrate more on the GPS. We are driving down this road and see a huge house to the right. One light was on inside. What appeared to be the upper level mid-room. You could see light through the window, and a black figure standing there. We are so spooked out at this point. The figure wasn't moving, like it was just watching. We are driving slow because we both just can't understand what's going on and are looking up into the window. What the hell is that? Then, so quickly, and out of nowhere, this white pickup truck begins tailing us fast. Way too fast to simply just be driving behind somebody on a dirt road, at least 50 miles per hour. I'm not crapping you when I say it chased us out of there. My ex is driving, hunched over the wheel while simultaneously looking out his rearview mirror at the truck. I have my back turned looking out the back car window. You could cut the tension with a knife as we're both freaked out. What the hell is happening? Drive faster, it's not slowing down. I can't drive much faster on this road, it's crap. We were in a small car. Eventually, the road finally and somehow leads out to the main highway. We both breathe a sigh of relief and just are absolutely bewildered at what just happened. We were both sober, and on the ride back, we were both asking each other, that wasn't just me, right? To this day, both of us are haunted by this event. We had some other very strange things happen after that as well. We were both sober every time we encountered something like this, but I'll digress for now. Case notes for file 1470. We stumbled into a town that doesn't exist. The chase scene, as you describe it with the white van, kind of feels like some sort of government agent. So, was this a town that was being tested for nukes? In Virginia? I don't think so. I agree with you there. But it does seem like it probably is some military testing site, if you want to hear something truly terrifying. The military has active drills to test combat scenarios against civilian populations, and I guess this would be one of those towns, where they actively build a town that looks just like any other town and send in military on drills, various drills, to quell an uprising or whatever they want to justify it as. That's more terrifying than any horror story I've read. That said, the inexplicable GPS malfunction, well, is it inexplicable? I'm not sure, but it is a wrinkle. Maybe the military has some sort of technology that is jamming the signal? I could see that. Case file number 1471, written by Itsmiamiaa, the Wendy's Drive-Thru Mystery. So one day, my husband and I were out running errands, along with our, at the time, 1-year-old son and 5-year-old daughter. We went to a couple stores before going to Lowe's. My husband didn't have his debit card, so we were using mine. After Lowe's, we decided to get food. We went to Wendy's and ordered like normal. As we're pulling up to the window, I went to grab my debit card and couldn't find it. I then remembered that my husband used it at Lowe's last, so he should have it. We're scrambling around to find it before they opened the window, but it was nowhere to be found. Before the worker even opens the window, I tell my husband to ask if they take Apple Pay, because that's all I had at this point. The lady opens the window and he said, "Do you guys take Apple Pay?" She says, "Yeah, hold on a second," and closes the window and walks away. At this point I was annoyed because my husband lost my card, and we all know waiting for a new one is just a pain in the butt. Finally, the lady comes back. My husband has my phone in hand with Apple Pay ready, and the worker hands him my debit card. He started to say it wasn't ours, but he looked at it and sure enough, there was my name. Neither of us could remember handing her the card. We asked our daughter if she saw him hand it off, and she said no, but she was 5 and maybe she wasn't paying attention anyway. At the time, we tried to chalk it up to somehow he handed it to her and we just forgot, but we weren't really convinced. It's still something we talk about almost 2 years, not 3, later. Look back at my pictures to see the project we were working on that required us to go to Lowe's. This was finished in April 2022, so I got the amount of years ago mixed up. Oops. Case answer file 1471, the Wendy's Drive-Thru Mystery. So a kind of universal intersection, but only relevant for the debit card. Nothing else was different. What I want to know is, was the card charged? Because she handed it back to you, presumably the Apple Pay wasn't used. Or were both charged? That would answer a lot of questions. But in the meantime, all I can say is, the Baconator is pretty good. And now time for the fact of the day. It takes 10 to the 8th atoms laid in a row to span the width of a human fingernail, 1 centimeter. There's an interesting thought experiment, or just another fact I guess you could say, where we as human beings, our size, is relatively in the middle between the largest possible thing, or the grandest scope of the observable universe, and the smallest possible thing, the Planck length. But if you're just talking about atoms, even those are so mind-bogglingly small, it's hard to visualize. I mean, take this example. Even if you're just trying to quantify how many atoms are in your own body, or how many atoms are in each breath that you inhale and exhale. It's too many, it's such a large number that it doesn't even make sense. And so in that way you can feel big. And then if you think about the size and scope of the observable universe, then you feel small. But in reality, it's all relative. So don't feel big, don't feel small, just feel like yourself. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.